Hi, this is Nate Morton. I live in Los Angeles, California, and this is how to tune a snare drum. This particular drum happens to be tuned up kind of high right now. The way that I tune drums, particularly snare drums, varies from gig to gig. If it's a recording session, even that varies. Because if you're doing a song that's a big rock song, then you're going to want that drum tuned really, really down low, maybe with a certain amount of dampening to make it, sound fatter. This drum happens to be coming back from a gig that I just played on, so it's kind of cranked up high, and as you can see, there's no dampening on the top head, so it's wide open, so there's plenty of ring on it. Because that happened to be right for the gig that I was playing. But maybe if there were too much ring on it, or maybe if I were doing a recording session where I wanted to do more of a rock song, I'd bring the drum way down in pitch. So one of the tools that we use when we're tuning a drum is a drum key. So a drum key is simply what you use to change the tension on the lugs. So in this case, I'm going to bring this drum down quite a bit. I'm going to pretend that we have a session coming up, and it's a rock session. And so what I'm going to do is, I'm going to, it's a big fat, 80s rock sound. So I'm going to bring these drums down, and as I tune the lugs, you'll notice that I'm going back and forth, tuning lugs across from one another as I bring it down. And that's in an effort to keep the tension very, very close, very, very similar on all the lugs around the head uniformly. Okay? So I'm going to bring it way down here. Let's see where we are now with this. Right? So we're pretty far down there now. We can even go almost a little lower than that. Now there's a little bit too much. It's hanging on a little bit too much for me. I want to take some of that ring, or not ring, but some of that sustain out of the drum. So I'm going to use this, which is a moon gel pad, and the amount that you use can vary depending on how much you want to dampen the drum. Where you place it on the head will vary depending on how much you want to dampen the drum. I'm just going to take one. I'm going to throw it here. It's about 1 inch from the rim. Right, so now I've got a much drier drum. Now, if I wanted from that point, I could even try to go a little lower than that. Now, I can go even lower than that. Now, when you get to a certain point, you may want to dampen it a little more. Now it's starting to sound a little papery, a little too thin for me. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring it back up just a bit. Now, when you're tuning for a recording session, you'll notice that I'm just going around now because I've got them. I'm pretty happy with where they are. I feel like they're very, very close right now with the lugs. So as long as I put about a quarter turn, 1/16 of a turn on each lug, I should stay pretty uniform. Now, maybe I want it even drier than the moon gel. I'll grab something like this, which this is just the inside circumference of a drum head cutout, which, basically I can then lay over the drum head on the drum. And I get that sound. Now we're getting really like 80s fat snare drum sound. So once again, we went from cranked up, wide open, lot of attack, fair amount of ring, to dampening it a little bit with the moon gels, bringing the pitch down, and then taking the pitch down even further and dampening it even more with, with a muffling ring on the top head. So those are some of the things to think about when you're tuning a drum. You want to go back and forth. You want to kind of make sure that the lugs are all uniform, and the amount of muffling, the pitch, all of those things can vary. But ultimately, knowing what you're going for is going to help you in the long run. And this has been Nate Morton, and that's how to tune a snare drum.